Hey guys, welcome back to the video game news roundup here on Stando Mania. I, of course, am your host, Stando, and there's not a lot of news going on this week. As a matter of fact, we're going off script for this one. Yay. Matter of fact, you know what? We could almost let Todd Hedwig over here host the news this week. That's how little news there is. There's little impact to your world. We do have a few things to talk about, though. Let's get into it. Right, Todd? Wing bump, buddy. Wing bump. The first thing that we need to talk about is that EA's time with the Star Wars franchise is coming to an end. We know this because we know Ubisoft is currently working on a Star Wars game. We know that Quantic Dream is working on a Star Wars game. And we got a little leaked footage of what could have been Star Wars 1313 or whatever the Boba Fett game was, a young Boba Fett adventure. We got a little leaked footage there. It's actually pretty cool looking. If you guys want to take a look at it, you search it up for yourselves. It's pretty badass. That game could have been what it could have been. Could have been Uncharted in space. Would have been awesome. Like a Boba Fett Uncharted game. I'm down. That being said, there is not going to be a Star Wars Battlefront 3. It's just not going to happen. But we did get news that Respawn Entertainment is going to be working on 3 new Star Wars games. Of course, Respawn Entertainment underneath the banner that is EA. But, you know, we're getting a Fallen Order 2. That was to be expected. That game was a runaway success. It was really good. They went the Dark Souls approach, and it kind of paid off for them. So cheers. We're looking forward to seeing more Fallen Order 2. And if that's not good enough for you, we're getting some sort of FPS game. Probably a single-player adventure FPS game. Again, not Battlefront 3. It'll be really cool to see what Respawn comes up with for this FPS shooter. Of course, Respawn, you know, they're known for the Titanfall series and Apex Legends, right? So they do first-person shooters really well. It'll be interesting to see what they do here. I'm highly motivated to play a Blasters game in space. I think it'll be really cool. And then we have like an XCOM strategy type of game for the Star Wars franchise also coming out of Respawn Entertainment. And that'll be pretty interesting take or look cool. I'm not really into those type of games, but there's a lot of people out there that love them. So that's exciting, right? Pokemon Legends Arceus dropped this week, and it's got an 86 on Metacritic, making it probably the best Pokemon in many years. So kudos to Pokemon players out there. Apparently, it's taking the entire franchise in a new direction, maybe. And that's got a lot of people stoked and excited, as this is kind of like a prequel series that takes place before anything that anybody's played in the Pokemon universe. Matter of fact, it's going pretty old school. Instead of a Pokedex, you got a book to keep track of like your Pokemon in. I'm not really big into the Pokemon franchise, but I know a lot of people love it, and it's good to see them finally the franchise evolving for them, and it's not the same thing just being put out over and over with prettier, newer graphics. This one seems to be compared to Breath of the Wild meets Monster Hunter, which sounds pretty cool, actually. So Pokemon Arceus, if you were on the fence about it because the last Pokemon entry wasn't your cup of tea, maybe this is the time to jump back in. It looks like a lot of people are having fun, and they really enjoy the new direction that the Pokemon series has taken with Arceus. And the final little bit of news we're going to talk about here is what's going on with Battlefield 2042. This is actually not new news. It's been out for a while, but we've not really talked about it here on our channel. So I want to address that really quick. Battlefield 2042 is in a messy state. The game is, a lot of people wanted the next Battlefield to be something special, right? They wanted 2042 to be something special because they've not had a modern Battlefield game since Battlefield 4. And so it feels like Battlefield has kind of went off the rails. You know, after Battlefield 4, you had Battlefield Hardline, which nobody liked because it was cops versus robbers, and it didn't really feel like a Battlefield game. It felt kind of disjointed and a sloppy mess for a lot of people. And then you get Battlefield 1, which a lot of people liked, but it's World War One, and World War One and some of those early war games are not everybody's cup of tea. So, you know, mechanically it was beautiful and it played great, but like, and it was a breath of fresh air at the time, but it's not what everybody wanted out of the next Battlefield series. And then you had Battlefield 5, which was a complete disaster. Why do you follow up a World War One game with a World War II game instead of, you know, going retro, modern, whatever? A lot of people feel like World War II has been played out, and they especially didn't like EA's take on World War II, and it had a lot of political mess. You know the buzzwords of social justice warriors and everything's taken over EA and all that stuff. A lot of buzzwords flying around that game. It was a huge controversy when it dropped, so a lot of people were looking forward to diving into 2042. And it's so bad that Steam went against policy and are offering refunds for Battlefield 2042. Matter of fact, if you look at the Steam's concurrent players, it's not looking great. There's hardly nobody playing that game. That game is, well, dead, pretty much. The game is dead. 2042 is dead, which could explain why we're not getting a Battlefront 3. I think EA really needs to, like, DICE, you guys need to really work on fixing this game or really set the bar high for the next game, right? Do you just trash what's here and move on? Or I don't know what you do. How do you fix it? I don't know. Bring back classes and remove operators. Battlefield has always been known for that class tight action squad play, and bringing in operators and removing classes, it seems a little bit all over the place. It's missing a lot of the features that previous Battlefield games had that are not in this game. Not to mention, it doesn't even have a single player campaign, but a lot of other features that are known to the multiplayer games that aren't in this game is mind-boggling. Like, I don't know, you've got a scoreboard, but it's only for your squad or for yourself. It's not relevant to telling you information on how well you did as a team as a whole. And so a lot of people are just frustrated with it. The textures are worse than Battlefield 3. The map designs, they're too open. There's not a lot, like it's open nothingness. Yeah, it looks pretty, but there's nothing there. Like, it's very poor map design, and nobody likes a lot of the futuristic, like, dogs hunting you in open space, right? So yeah, the game's riddled with bugs. It's just a mess, guys. That game is just an outright mess. Let's take a look at some of the games that are coming out for you this week. Life is Strange Remastered Collection comes to the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Stadia, and PC on February 1st. And I got to be honest, I'm kind of tired of these remasters, right? We're starting to see publishers push these games and sell them to us over and 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 over again. Like, why do you need a remastered collection for PC? That game's been on PC. Same with the PlayStation 4, Xbox One. I can understand it for, like, the PS5 and Xbox Series X, maybe. But really, like, yeah, it seems like cheap money cash grab here at the moment with some of these remastered collections. I mean, honestly, how many times can you resell Skyrim and it still looks the same? Anniversary edition doesn't look any better than the special edition. At some point, you know, that game's going to look as good as it's going to look. Oh, you got Waylanders coming to PC February 2nd. And then Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment coming to the Nintendo Switch. That comes out February 3rd. And the one that everybody's excited about, Dying Light 2 Stay Human, comes to the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC Comes out February the 4th. The reason people are really looking into Dying Light 2 is they want to see, you're living in this world now that's a lot more devolved, so to speak, than the previous game. So there's not as many guns around in the world. It's more melee combat than it was in the previous game. To see how the factions play out in the city, as the human element comes much more relevant in this game than it did in the previous game. It's just a lot to take in, and how your decisions impact that world will be really, really cool. And this is also a game that you can expect to get long-term support. Dying Light 1 had huge amounts of developmental support throughout its entire run, so making it relevant for many years. And I expect the same out of Dying Light 2, and a lot of other players do as well. So looking forward to seeing that one coming out. Again, that's going to be a huge game, 500 hours to complete everything. 20 hours, though, we talked about that last week. 20 hours if you only want to do the main story, and 80 hours for side questing. But 500 hours worth of content, with much more probably being delivered over its life cycle, that's pretty enticing for a lot of people. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys this week. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment, right? And if you're new, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next news video. And don't forget that we stream here on YouTube 5 days a week. Today I might be playing a little bit of Elite Dangerous. So that'll be exciting. Depending on when you watch this video, I record this on Saturday. Sunday, I don't know what I'm playing on Sundays, but anyway, we look forward to having you guys nonetheless. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until then, have a good one. Bye-bye.